Hello, everybody. This is Glory. Welcome to Alpha Womb. Today, in the series of Kali, we will be discussing something about men and the most masculine presence. So, thank you all for appreciating my video on the Devdasis that I uh, made recently, 2 days ago. Uh, so, I was really happy to receive all your views on it, and one of the very significant views or suggestion was to make a video on the Devdasi parlance of a man. How does a spiritual man, a highly masculine man, look like? Who embodies Shiva look like? Who becomes the yantra for Shiva looks like? So Shiva being Shiva or Bhairava, both I might use this name alternately because they are the same energy but in different, swarupam. So please understand, I'm talking about the same thing if I use these two names interchangeably. Um, so, how would a man, good question, good thought, how would a most divine masculine look like or come across like? Just like the most spiritually feminine uh, conduits of the feminine essence are the Devdasis, how would a man uh, who is in who is awakened, you know, divinely awakened through the to the Shiva Tattva or the Bhairava Tattva look like? The most masculine Tattva look like or come across like? So let me explain this to you in the most palatable way, because a lot of things that I know cannot be explained in physical terms because they are so spiritual in nature that it might not resonate with many of you. So, uh, our Vedas have always considered women to be Vidyas. So they don't have to learn anything, they become the conduits automatically. They are the essence, they are just the murtis of, you know, they are the reflection of the divine feminine. Every woman you look around acts as a yantra of the feminine just naturally by her being present there. And if she works more on herself, she'll heighten her abilities. However, even if she does not chooses to do anything, she will act like a reflection of still act like a reflection of the goddess. However, this isn't true for the man. This isn't true for a man who is an embodiment of Bhairava or slash the most, awakened or the apex masculine. How would he uh, come across? Masculine as a man's role in the Vedas have always been considered as upholding dharma, which is a direct reflection of the sexual organ of the man, which is a phallic. So, the most masculine man, which is Shiva, that we worship in our Indian temples as the Shivalingam, is a representation of the union of Lingam and Shiva and Shakti, where the Lingam is held within the embrace of the feminine. That has a great secret. for all of us. That iconography itself has a great takeaway for our understanding of what the man should be like to a woman, and how should a woman what how should a woman be to a man in her life. Okay, so if you see the iconography, it is the Shakti, the yoni there, and on it the phallic of Shiva has stays penetrated. So it speaks of a woman, feminine, the most feminine, uh, truly holding the man in her life through her essence, truly holding the man together. And the man here, Shiva, becoming worthy of that union. So a woman has to truly hold the man's vision, his ideas, uh, and everything about him together. She has to truly believe in him. And a man has to be truly worthy of her to hold her, because once they are in union, the woman has to have enough faith on the man, because then she'll carry his seeds. She's going to carry the lineage ahead with the seed of the man. This is the very essence of the union of man and a woman. And how does a man resonates to a woman who would hold him? So here also, like I said, a woman was naturally considered as the Vidya. She becomes naturally the embodiment of the divine since the day she is born. But a man has to prove himself, has to be worthy, has to attain that state of Shiva, has to earn the seed, meaning has to work on himself. A man is very physical in nature, and a woman's essence will always stay esoteric and etheric in nature, where woman thinks and manifest. Thing can happen. A lot of things can happen. But a man, on the contrary, to have all of those things, has to work really hard, has to become like a team player with or many other men to build something up, to build the same thing up also. So a truly masculine man, whom do we as a society consider as a truly masculine man? First of all, the first thing that comes to our mind is an emperor. The second thing that comes to our mind is an athlete. And what do these two embodiments are like? True leadership, true leadership, which is not dependent on anything else but their own. They don't check on others. What they check first is on themselves. They course correct themselves. They gauge their own mistakes. An athlete, let's say an athlete's run for himself, or let's say he is also taking care of the well-being of the team that he's in. Similarly, an emperor also does the same thing. So they work hard towards, they train towards something, they course correct their actions, and they, they are taking care of a group of other men also along with them. Now, so that is a true idea of a man having a lofty purpose beyond just himself, just his family. So a truly masculine man would resemble his own sexual organ, would be like a pillar of dharma, would be like a very upright presence in the life of the woman or the life of the people that he's being a leader to. He should demonstrate, you know, or train himself. It's not like for a woman, she's born with the spiritual essence within her. A man has to develop it over the time. And and here is where you know a lot of men are not taught or educated around mm, their own role in the society and their own self. They're taught to win, but what they are not, they're taught to win in an education system, in a class, score high, be a high achiever. But being a high achiever has never served a man his true dharma. A man, to feel like a leader, is to feel like a masculine, truly embodied masculine. And for that, he has to also not just lead, but also ensure that a group of other men or a group of other people are also leading along with him. For example, a ruler cannot fight a war alone. He wants his troops along with him to also, you know, win with him, win together. So, this winning alone uh, is a very Indian education system, uh, is also a modern education system. This was not what was taught long back before. Everyone was not considered equal. So now everybody is banking equal, bagging a degree, scoring, somebody is scoring high and feeling great, while others with the men are not feeling great. The true masculine nature never blossoms in such ecosystem. So truly masculine man is like an athlete, is like an emperor who takes, who truly cares about many other people, not just himself. But a woman, she has to, if she takes care of herself, her abilities enhances. But for a man, it's different. He has to, you know, be in charge of many other life, a goal which is greater than him, symbolic of just a very upright phallic. He should stand upright like a phallic, not lie to him, his own self. A lot of men can't even speak the truth to themselves that this relationship is not working, and I care about course correcting it. For example, I mean, they can't have these hard conversation. So because they don't want to have these hard conversation, they keep on lying to themselves. And these sort of subtle behavior does not brings you any close to being a truly masculine man, which is make becoming a bhairava, becoming truly fearless. These are not uh, traits. So we are losing the masculine essence in our realm to such acts. They don't want to take accountability for their own life, forget about nurturing a troop of men, a team of fellow players. So this is a complete opposite of leadership skills that we are losing our men to. And so unfortunately, as easy as it is for a woman because she's just the essence of the prakriti, for a man it is a lot of work to get to that state of the embodied masculine. And this is also hidden in the story where even our most masculine man Shiva had to go through his share of learnings in life to understand, uh, to be worthy of Parvati. For Parvati to hold him, he had to prove himself worthy of her. So, which is why he was in the meditation, which is why there was the separation between both of them. In order to, for him to just become the diamond that he was, he had to work on himself. And especially for men, they had have to get in touch with the physicality of their body also. They have to train, and they have to understand that having multiple partners does not make you a man. And a lot of you also, yesterday watching my video on Devdasis, did text me around, like, you know what's your take on most masculine man? Would he be having, polyamorous relationship? Yes, he would be having, because that's a man's natural tendency. They are built that way, to just feel like having sex. It's the nature of the hormones within them. But mastering that is what makes him truly masculine. Overcoming that and becoming a very, mastering your mind. Uh, for example, for example, women, if you speak to any women, they just immediately feel that every man is stupid. They have their own reason, let's say, and they laugh at it. Many women would laugh at it because, they might be asking a man, okay, can I get you a cup of coffee because I'm going to have one? A man immediately feels that probably she's going to sleep with him. It's true. It's true, no matter what anybody says. They and when men say that they are getting attracted and infatuated to a lot of women, what they are getting attracted and infatuated is just her physical beauty. And they'll overcome that, because they have to understand that a woman who truly loves them or is interested in them will want them to grow, will make them uncomfortable, will not ask, will not just, smile at them and just wave a hi and what they think as love, uh, or something else, is not going to be that way. This will be a woman who will be truly interested in your life. She'd want to know, what are you doing, what is your purpose, what are you trying to grow in your life, where is it that you want to grow, and she'll help you with that, with her intuitive powers. This is how it will look like for a man. But a man has to reach there. A man has to, uh, sort of work on himself, truly work on himself. But a lot of men are so addicted to porns that they it doesn't take them much to get derailed, just a woman speaking to them, and which is why women feel that most men are stupid, and they laugh. And the thing that they boast the most about, their upright phallic. Oh my god. They are watching porns and jerking off without even closing the site or the app on which they're watching, and they're done. And that is the same pattern they have it with the woman in their life that they meet. So it works for them both ways, because neither of them, nor the women, neither the app or the site, is giving them a feedback about how did they feel. On the contrary, if you speak to the woman, she'll laugh at it and she'll just say, uh, "Oh, I knew he's funny. I'm just trying not avoid the sex, really." And a lot of women are turning asexual. This is not the true sign of a masculine man. Now, coming back to the argument where a masculine man, truly heightened masculine man, is going to turn into a polyamorous, is what you have heard is true, but you have just skipped the best part, and you just went to the part which is convenient for or all of you to understand. The part where work is put on, a lot of effort is put on, is never discussed. A man with a lofty purpose, with a purpose truly great, who goes, hunts, and builds a community, builds a fight for a country, you know, plays together with his team and makes you win the game, is a truly masculine man. He's a true leader. He's a true leader. He'll be very purposeful, and such a man is not every woman's cup, because he would have learned how to say no, how to have a purpose, how to have a maryada, you know, meaning principle of operation between two individuals. He won't have these, you know, confusions in his head anymore. Clarity would be very important for him to operate in his life. He wouldn't lie himself to begin with. Uh, Forget about others. He would be extremely honest with himself that, okay, this relationship is not working, and why is it not working? I care about it, and that is why I want to course correct myself. Just an athlete mindset. A true leader is somebody who checks himself and corrects himself. And that is the true education of becoming a truly aware divine masculine, equivalent to Devdasis. But once they are truly awakened, you know, they are not every woman's cup. They'll say a lot of women no, and their egos would be, and these women cannot handle him. Because by now, a lot of women are also confused hanging out with the men uh, who don't have clarity. They're okay with the confusion. A truly divine masculine uh, would be always upright and always erect, always aroused by the woman he wants to be with. Uh, the woman will want to hold him. And coming to the bit where he's polyamorous, it won't. So, because such a man would be so heightened in his awareness, he would be at such a state where uh, you know he would need help of multiple women. Now, I'm very careful while I'm speaking this, because women in this arrangement won't be unhappy or jealous of each other. They would understand where it is coming from, and this used to happen in the ancient eras, where they were understanding his needs, and women usually stay very happy in such a relationship, because such a man is not wasting his time counseling the tantrums of the woman he is with. He would have absolute clarity, absolute clarity. And by clarity, I do not mean hurting someone, lying someone, cheating, be deceitful. No, he would he would know his maryadas, with whom and what, and each of these women would be aware. That's a true masculine. That's a man a woman would want to hold and have great, uh, manifestations of realities for him. Build that together with him. So, so how does a truly divine masculine man looks like? It looks like this. It looks like Ram. It looks like Bhairava. It looks like someone who is extremely loyal, who has principles, who has boundaries, who has ethics, who stands up for the society. Many men don't realize they lose, they turn into Disney princess by going to stinky gyms and gulping protein powder, and they think that is all they need to be a man. I'm sorry, it isn't. As fast as you get the woman, you lose her as fast also, because woman recognizes such things. And if you feel a woman gets happy on casual dates, no, you have people who speak and spread these things have truly not understood the sexuality of man and woman completely. Because a woman in her mind feels violated, her body is shaken, her structure of the structure which structure of yoni, which with which, I mean, this is not a physical, this is I'm what I'm trying to say is not physical in nature. The structure with which she held within her body, physically and esoterically, a man actually creates an energy field for her. And if the man came and left her and did not come back again, by that I mean in a casual relationship, that is where a woman felt like she lost something. She had so many things in the moment that she wanted to create with the man that she was and bless the man. However, the man could not stay. So then there is another man in her life because she's confused. She's not awakened by now, so, or aware by now. But something within her makes her feel not great about it. She feels cheap in those moments. So people who are speaking about all of these things without, I really feel they're very ignorant of the true nature of the sexuality of a man and a woman. A truly feminine woman is very careful of her access, of her intimacy, the access to intimacy with her, because it is sacred for her. Similarly, for a truly masculine man, holding upright dharma will always means a lot for him. So, are you worthy enough a man for a woman to hold and create different realities through her intuition for you? Because it takes a lot of work. It it definitely takes a lot of work. A woman is naturally the spiritual essence, and her abilities grow as effortlessly as nature, as a plant grows in nature. But for a man, he has to put in a lot of work. Like for example, if you see a woman, uh, to have a good physique, a woman just has to lose some weight, and she usually has the best curves, and it'll make her look wonderful. However, for a man, he has to do a lot of work, a lot of physical work. His body is his karma, and that is how he has to uh, earn it. He has to put his work. So for a man, a lot of physical work on his body, on his emotion, on his boundaries, on his vision, and just being an athlete or an emperor. And don't behave like watching those pawns. I mean, a woman sleeping with a plumber, this sort of weird stuff is being shown in these pawns, and men think this is great. I mean, have you, and women sleeping with many partners makes them as attractive. Have you heard stories of Parvati ever secretly sleeping around with Vishnu? And you haven't, right? And does that makes her any less wonderful or less attractive? No, right? So I think a lot of education of this sort has to be imparted and taught to men. So nowadays men are also wanting to be equal with women. Equality is great thing now. Seems things that can never be equal. Everyone is in the pursuit of being equal. So men are shown cooking, men are shown, that's the most unmanly thing a man feels like doing. Caring for the partner, that's fine. But being able to decide in a moment what you want to do is the most decisive thing a man, uh, truly masculine man, decides. Can take decisions for himself, for the woman around with him, for the people, for his team. To be a true leader is to be the most masculine man, as equivalent as to the Devdasis. But for when it comes to the man, they have to do a lot of physical work in the physical realm, in the three-dimensional realm. So I hope this is really very different stuff. Uh, I hope I could make some sense. I tried to, but I don't know if I could. So, excuse me, some bit. If some bit was not able to explain, we'll do a separate part about this. Thank you so much.